Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Gurave Sarva Lokanam, Vishaje Bhavaroginam, Nitaye Sarva Vidyanam, Shri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha, Shruti Smriti Purananam, Alayam Karunalayam, Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram, Loka Shankaram. अपार करुणा सिंधुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्र गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं परित्यज्य मौनं वडाधस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशं मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गे नयन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्भाति चित्ते नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्य विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानु नेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. So welcome to the introduction to Dheivathin Kural class. In the last session, Peryava has talked about how much other people are contributing to us. What are the contributions from what people, from what entities for our well-being? And if we analyze, Shastra says there are 5 groups of entities. All of their contributions are very, very crucial and very, very important for our well-being. If we are what we are, it is due to these 5 entities, says Shastra. What are those entities? They are first and foremost our parents, second, Bhagavan, third, fellow human beings, fourth, all the other animals, animals, plants, etc., fellow beings, and 5, last but not least, all the rishis who have given out Veda mantras. So these are 5 groups of people, 5 entities whose contributions is very, very important for our well-being. And Shastra says, if these people have contributed for our well-being, then it is very, very important that we contribute towards those people. It is like I get something from him and then I have to give something to him. So that is what is normal, right? So that is nature's law. If we get advantages from all those entities, then it is our duty, it is our responsibility to contribute back to these 5 entities for their well-being as well. And this process is called as Panchamahayajnam. So what is Panchamahayajnam? Panchamahayajnam is the thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in our Sampradaya is not celebrated on one day in a year. Each and every day is a Thanksgiving for us. And we don't give thanks. We don't say we are celebrating Thanksgiving and eating lot of food. We actually give thanks. We actually give back. We actually contribute to all those entities. And this is called as Pancha Mahayajna. And what are these yajnas? Our responsibility towards our parents is called as Pitru Yajna. Pitru literally means father, but Pitru also means parents. Jagatav Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau, says Kalidasa. So Pitru will include both father and the mother. So Pitru Yajna is our responsibility towards one's parents. Deva Yajna is our responsibility towards Bhagavan. Bhagavan has given a lot to us, so we have to spend some time for Bhagavan. Manushya Yajna is our responsibility towards fellow humans. Bhuta Yajna is our responsibility towards all the other entities in this planet. And Brahma Yajna is our responsibility towards the glorious Rishi Parampara who have blessed us with many mantras, with many knowledge that we have got. So, Panchamahayajnas is our responsibility towards others. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, hey Arjuna, This is a chakram, Arjuna. Parasparam bhavayantaha. You take care of them, they will take care of you. So this is like a cycle. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayaha aghayurindriyaramaha mogham partha sajivati. Hey Arjuna, evam pravartitam chakram. This is a cycle, Arjuna. Nanuvartayati hayaha. Please do not disturb this cycle. If we have a cycle, each and every person who are part of that cycle have a role to play. If Pitrus are not there, everything is interconnected. If we are not there, then all the five entities will not be there. If Pitrus are not there, if Deva did not do their part, if fellow humans did not do their part, then our life is going to be miserable. And because our life is miserable, all the people who get from us, all the people who we contribute to, their life is also going to be miserable. Hey Arjuna, this is a cosmic cycle, Arjuna. Please do not disturb it. Please play your part in the right way, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. How to understand this? We can see, modern science helps us a lot to understand these concepts. In modern science, we have carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, water cycle, etc., etc., etc. So all those cycles are there, and each and every entity in that cycle will consume and will also contribute. Plants consumes carbon, and plant will also contribute to the carbon. Industries consumes carbon, industry also contribute to carbon. So each and every entity in every cycle is very, very important. And what happens if there is a disturbance in the balance? Everything is in equilibrium, we don't have any problem. But if somebody is not contributing how they should contribute, if somebody is not contributing to the levels that is expected of them, what happens? Now we have global warming. Why? Because some people are not contributing enough and some people are over contributing. So the entire cycle is imbalanced, and that causes a lot of problem. This is carbon cycle. This has been discovered. This has been put together probably 100 or 200 years ago. But Krishna has put this cycle. Evam pravartitam chakram. Krishna has put this cosmic cycle of wheel, cosmic wheel of dharma, cosmic cycle of dharma. Krishna is speaking about that cycle thousands of years back. And Mahaperiyava says it is that dharma chakram which is present in the center of Indian flag. Indian flag, if we know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, there is a cycle, there is a chakram that is present in Indian flag. Mahaperiyava says in Dheivathin Kural that chakram represents dharma. That chakram will have to remind us our duty in this society, says Mahaperiyava in another place in Deivathin Kural. So we have to play our part right if we want to maintain the cosmic balance. And if we have to play our part right, then we have to contribute to Pitrus, we have to contribute to Devas, we have to contribute to Manushya, we have to contribute to Bhutas, and we have to contribute to Vedas. And that is what we are going to see now. Panchayagnya Priya, Panchapretamanchadi Shalini, says Lalita Sahasranam. Ambal is Panchayagnya Priya. Ambal likes people who do Panchamaha Yajnam, also says Lalita Sahasranam. And the first of that Yajnam is Pitru Yajna, our responsibility towards our parents. And Pitru Yajna comprises of two parts. One is looking after the parents when they are alive, and second is performing monthly and annual Shraddha ceremonies after their time. Both of these are very, very important. I cannot say, hey, I have looked after my parents when they are alive, and all those Tarpanam, Shraddam, I don't believe in. We cannot say that. And we can also not do, we can also not take care of the parents when they are alive and then perform all the Shraddam, Tarpanam. That is also inadequate. We have to do both. We have to look after the parents when they are alive. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya devo bhava, Athiti devo bhava, says Taittiriya Upanishad. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava. You have to respect the parents as Parvati and Parameshwara. We have to respect the parents as Lakshmi Narayana. So we have to do puja to our parents. We have to listen to them. We have to spend time for them. We have to spend time with them, says Shastra. We have to do Shishuraksha for the parents, says Shastra. In Dheivathin Kural, Mahapariva keeps on quoting Avvayar as well. Annayum Pitavum Munnari Deivam, says Avvayar. Annayum Pitavum. The father and the mother are Munnari Deivam. They are the first gods that the children will ever know. All the Krishna, Rama, etc., they all are other gods. But the first and foremost gods that the children will ever know is father and mother. Tayai chirandadaru kovilum illai, Tandai solmikka mandiram illai, says Avvayar. Mahapariva quotes those in Deivathin Kural. There is no other god that is superior to one's own mother. Tayir chirandadaru kovilum illai. Tandai solmikka mandiram illai. There is no other mantra which will protect you than the words of your father, says Avvayar. So that is our first and foremost duty, looking after the parents when they are alive, caring for the parents when they are alive. And after their time, we also have to perform the monthly and annual ceremonies. We have Shraddham, we have Tarpanam. Normally, people will do Tarpanam for Amavasya, for Male Paksham, etc., etc. But Shastra says one should do 96 Tarpanams per year. If we count the number of Tarpanams that a person does, normally people, in practice, most of the people will only do 30 tarpanams or 15 tarpanams, etc., for Amavasai and for Masaparapu, for Sankramanam. But according to Shastra, a person has to do 96 tarpanams. This is called as Shannavati Tarpanam. So 96 tarpanams have to be performed. The annual Shraddhams have to be performed. If we go to Gaya, we have to perform Tarpanam. Shastra also says you don't need, the proper tithi to do Tarpanams on a Punya Kshetra. If we go to a Punya Kshetra, if you see a nice river, just close your eyes and start doing Tarpanam, says Smritis. So, doing Tarpanam, doing Shraddham is also equally important. And for people who wonders, okay, how does this Tarpanam Shraddham work? We have spoken about this in the last class. Please refer to the last video, that is called as Pitru Yajna. The next yajna is called as Deva Yajna. Our responsibility, our thanksgiving for Bhagavan. Everybody goes to temple. Everybody worships Bhagavan in temple. But it is equally important to bring Bhagavan to one's home and Vidivatta and sticking to scriptures, worshipping Bhagavan according to scriptures in our home daily is also important. And for that, Acharya Bhagavad Pada has formalized a worshipping pattern. All these things were existing before the times of Acharya, but for some reason they all have gone down. And Acharya, Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Pada Acharya did Punaruddharanam of all the pre existing customs and traditions. And one of those customs and traditions is called as Panchayatana Puja. 5 major gods: Ganapati, Surya, Vishnu, Ambika, and Shiva. These are 5 major gods. There are Shanmatams. So 6 gods are there, but Subramanya will be worshipped in fire. So we did not include Subramanya in the Panchayatana Puja. But Mahaperiyava says, because now fire worship is less and less prevalent, people don't do Aupasanam, people don't do Agnihotram. Subramanya, because he is Agni Jarmane Namaha. There is a Nama for Subramanya, Agni Janmane Namaha, Agni Garbhachite Namaha. These are other names of Subramanya because he is Agni Swarupam. People were worshipping to Subramanya through Agni, through Aupasanam, through Agnihotram in those days. And because those practices are not prevalent now, we can include a small whale in the Panchayatana Puja and worship all the Devatas. This is what is very important. Without any Bheda Buddhis, you can have a personal God, that is not a problem. But just because you have a personal God, you cannot go and talk bad about other Bhagavans, because all these Bhagavans are present in Vedas, are mentioned in Vedas, are worshipped by rishis, are worshipped by munis, are present in smritis. So each and every Bhagavan has to be respected. Avaravar irayavar kuraivilar irayavar அவரவர் விதிவழி அடையகின்றனரே, says நம்மாழ்வார் in திருவாய்மொழி. அவரவர் இறையவர் குறைவிலர் இறையவர். There is no taradamyam on which God is superior, which God is inferior. அவரவர் விதிவழி அடையகின்றனரே. Because of one's icha, because of one's vasanas, some people will like one God more than other. But we always have to keep in our mind that all gods are same. There is no difference between Bhagavans. Just for our sake, Bhagavan takes different forms and we worship Bhagavan differently. Yo yo yam yam tanum yanti, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita as well. Whatever the form, bhaktas worship me, Arjuna. I give phalan to those devotees accordingly. I don't, discriminate between bhaktas. Hey, he worships Krishna, I have to give him more. He worships Rama, I have to give him less. No, no, no. I don't do that, Arjuna. I treat all my bhaktas as the same, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And in order to establish that thought in our mind so firmly, Adi Shankaracharya has re-established this Panchayatana Puja worship, where all the Bhagavans will be kept in the same pedestal. All the Bhagavan will be kept in the same pedestal and doing puja to all the forms of Bhagavans without any Bheda Buddhi. So that is called as Devayajna. And Mahaperiva says in Dheivathin Kural, ஒவ்வொரு ஆத்துலையும் மணி சத்தம் கேட்கணும். எப்போதும் டெய்லி ஒவ்வொரு ஆத்துலையும் மணி சத்தம் கேட்டுண்டே இருக்கணும், says Mahaperiva in Deivathin Kural as well. So we have to take up the Panchayatana Puja if we have not done already, because that is our responsibility towards Bhagavan. Up to this, we have seen in the last class. Now we are going to see the rest of Pancha Mahayajnas. And this shloka is very, very important. The shloka says, what are all the things a person should do in daily life? 6 things, Shatkarmani dine dine. 6 things a person should do daily. What are those things? Snanam sandhya snanam japo homaha, devatanancha pujanam, atithyam vaishwadevancha, Shatkarmani dine dine, says this shloka. This is a Smriti Vakyam. This is present in, I think, Manusmriti. Sandhya, Snanam. First, a person has to do Sandhya Vandanam daily. Sandhya Vandanam is there, normally Sandhya Vandanam, we think Sandhya Vandanam as, only, Upanayanam, all the people who have done Upanayanam will be doing something with water. We think that is Sandhya Vandanam. But the real Sandhya Vandanam is meditating upon Bhagavan during the Sandhya times. That is called as Sandhya Vandana. Because we see in any shloka and Palashruti, Trisandhyam Yaf Phatet. Whoever reads this shloka in Trisandhya during the three Sandhya time will get Shivalokam Avapnoti, etc., etc., etc. So, remembering Bhagavan during the Sandhya times is called as Sandhya Vandanam. And Snanam, everybody should do Snanam. Snanam, we all know, just taking bath. And it is not just taking bath. We have seen in the previous class, Panchanga Snanam. Snanam has got 5 angas. We have to do Sankalpam, we have to do Marjanam, we have to do Sukta Patanam, we have to do Tarpanam, etc. So, Snanam, Sandhya, very, very important. Japo Homaha, Japam is Gayatri Mantra Japam, or people have taken Panchakshari, people have taken Ashtakshari Japam. These are the mantras which every person should take. In olden days, irrespective of who they are, irrespective of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, everybody will be taking either Panchakshari mantra or Ashtakshari mantra. In olden days, if we go see most sishtas, Rumba Periyavas, they will not even eat at the houses of people who have not taken Panchakshari mantra, who have not taken Ashtakshari mantra. So, taking up a mantra, doing Gayatri mantra japam is first and foremost for the people who have undergone Upanayanam. For all the people who have not undergone Upanayanam, we have to take up a mantra called as, it can either be Panchakshari, Ashtakshari, Navakshari, or Ekakshari. Any mantra we have to take. So, Snanam, Sandhya, Japam, it's done. Homam. Homam is Aupasanam. So, Snanam, Sandhya, Japam, we have to do individually. I have to take Snanam, my wife has to do Snanam, and my kids has to do Snanam. Sandhya Upasanam, I will have to worship, my wife will worship, my kid will worship. Japam, I do it for myself, they do it for themselves. So these three are individual things. But the next three are collective efforts of a family. Homam, Aupasanam, Devata Pujanam, Atityam, and Vaishwadevam. These three are not individual efforts, these three are collective efforts in the family. Homam is Aupasanam. Everybody who, irrespective, in fact, irrespective of their caste, everybody has to do Aupasanam. In olden days, people used to do Aupasanam daily. They will be having that Agni from the marriage. When the marriage is happening, we will be doing a homam on an Agni, right? So that Agni will be preserved until one's death, and the person will be cremated on the same Agni. And in order for that fire to live, morning and evening, we have to offer something called as in the process of Aupasanam. And this Aupasanam can only be done if the wife is present around you. Patniya saha, says Smriti. Only when the wife is present, the wife will have to take rice, and wife will have to ritually give the rice to husband, and the husband will take that rice ritually, and he does homam on that Agni. So homam is Aupasanam. This has to be done husband and wife together. Devata Pujanam, the husband might do puja, but all the nevedyams, all the pushpams, all the other things, the wife has to take care as a family. So the first three are individual, and the second three, Omam, it has to be done as family. Devata Pujanam, all the family members have to be included. And the next two is what we are going to see elaborately. Atityam and Vaishwadevam. What is Atityam and what is Vaishwadevam? Atityam is part of Manushya Yajna, and Vaishwadevam is part of Bhuta Yajna. Homam, Devata Pujanam, Sandhyopasanam, Japam, They all are Deva Yajnas. But Atityam is Manushya Yajna. Vaishwadevam is part of Bhuta Yajna. And the most important thing that we need to notice is Shatkarmani Dine Dine. We have to do all these things daily. So Manushya Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, it has to be done daily. Okay, what is Manushya Yajna? Manushya Yajna is helping for other human beings, is caring for other human beings. That is Manushya Yajna. And the first and foremost of Manushya Yajnas is Annadanam, says Mahaperiyava, because it is said in Vedas. Um, గజతురగ సహస్రం గోకులం భూమిదానం కనకరజత పాత్రం మేదిని సాగరాంతం అభయకుల పవిత్రం కోటి కన్యా ప్రదానం నభవతి సమతుల్యం అన్నదాన సమాన శేష శ్లోక. You can give rather, you can give hundreds and thousands of elephants to others. You can give lot of other danams. Abhaya kula pavitram koti kanya pradanam. Koti kanyadanam you do. You know, you give lot and lot of gold to other people. All those things will not be equivalent. Na bhavati samatulyam annadana samanaha. It is not equivalent to doing annadanam, says Shastra. Why? Because all the other danams, the person who receives the danam will never be satisfied. I give 1,000 rupees, I give $1,000 to someone, he will get that $1,000 and he will be thinking, oh, this person is earning $100,000 per year and this person is only giving $1,000 to me. How cheap this person is. He could have easily written a check for another $1,000. Everybody will think, I give a gold coin to someone. Oh, this person is so wealthy, he is only giving 1 gram gold coin. Why cannot he give me 8 grams of gold? It is very, very normal to do, to, you know, to talk back on all the other danams, but only with Annadanam, the receiver will be satisfied at that moment. I give Annadanam, I feed them. And you know what do we do when people are putting rice? No, 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 podum, podum, podum. We say, right? Why? Because we are satisfied with the Annadanam. Only during the Annadanam, the Danam receiver will get satisfied, and that is why Annadanam is more important. And Mahaperiyava says in Tirukural there are 10 in Tirukural there are 10 kurals that Tiruvalluvar has dedicated for Virundombal. There is a chapter called as Virundombal in which Tiruvalluvar talks about, you know, how to take care of atithis, how to take care of guests to our house properly. And Mahaperiyava says Tiruvalluvar has written Virundombal keeping Manushya Yajna in his mind, says Tiruvalluvar. I will just tell you one Tirukural from that. Selvirundu Ombi, Varavirundu Parthiruppan, Nalvirundu Vanattavarku, says Tiruvalluvar. The person who has given a lot of food for the person who has already left. You know, a person comes to my home, you know, he is going to eat and he is going to leave, so I have fed him nicely, and I will also be expecting more guests, you know, so that I can feed them. That person nalvirundu vaanattavarku, even devas will be expecting, devas will be waiting apparently. Hey, when this person is going to come to Devaloka, when this person is going to come to Swargaloka, he does not have to apply for visa. It is visa on arrival for this person. செல்விருந்து ஓம்பி வருவிருந்து பார்த்திருப்பான் நல்விருந்து நல்வருந்து வானத்தவர்க்கு, says Tirukkural. In fact, the Athityam, you know, in the previous shloka, I have told about the technical term for Manushya, that is Athityam. What is Athityam? The person will have to finish all his daily duties, that is Snanam, Sandhya, Japam, Homam, Devata Pujanam. And you know, by the time everything is over, it will be like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and he cannot go directly to the kitchen and eat. He has to come out and he has to see in the streets. Both the sides he has to see. whether any person is there who wants food. And if no person is there, he has to go somewhere. He has to go to the middle of that city or the middle of that village. He has to tell, hey, I am going to eat food. Is there any person here who is hungry? And if any person comes, this person has to take that hungry man, he has to get him to his house and he has to feed him, and then only he can have his own food, says Shastra. So that is the rule, that is the proper procedure for Atityam. And so it is Annadanam. And we know about two stories. One story most of us know, other stories, no, other story not a lot of people know, who actually tells the importance of Annadana, which actually tells the importance of Athithi Satkaram as a part of Manusha Yajna. The first story I want to tell is that of Apastamba. Most of the Yajurvedis will know, will at least heard of this name called as Apastamba. We say Vatula Gotraha, Apastamba Sutraha, Yajushakadhyayi Sharmanaha Hammasmi Boho. We say, right? So Apastamba is a great Maharishi. He has written a lot of sutras. He has written a Dharma Shastra. He has codified the Vedas. Vedas will tell, okay, Vedas will be theory, but the theory has to be put to, to a practical use, right? So he has written that manual, how to live according to Veda, how to do rituals according to Veda, how to do Somayaga, how to do Atiratra, how to do Vajapeya. So he has written things called as Dharma Sutra, Grihya Sutra, Sulba Sutra, etc. And Apastamba, as a great Maharishi, he has written a lot about Athithi Satkaram, that is Atitya. So he is the one who has written the rule, who has written the procedure that I have told before. A person will have to finish till Devata Yajna. He has to go in the street. He has to see who is there for food. And if somebody is there, he has to go and feed. So Apastamba is the Maharishi who has written out that Shastra. And Dharma Devata wanted to test Apastamba, whether he is following that procedure properly or not. And before that, Apastamba, I don't know his original name. He is called as Apastamba only after this incident. Let us say he's a Rishi. Let us say Dharma Devata wanted to test that Rishi. So one fine day, I think Apastamba was living in Kashi, in the city of Kashi. Apastamba went to do his snanam in Ganges river, in Ganga river. And while after taking bath, he started to come home. There he saw a Brahmana killing a cow. Killing a cow itself is not good. It is not right. But a Brahmana who has to worship the cow, the Brahmana was killing the cow. And Apastamba, he is the Maharishi who wrote all the Dharma Shastra. So he wrote that if a person sees a cow getting killed, the prayaschittam is sachela snanamacharet. He has to go to a river. He has to, dip into the river with his clothes. Sachela snanamacharet. So this Apastamba thought, hey, yaar munjira mudichenne theriyala. I have seen this Brahmana killing a cow. So I have already taken a bath. So I am going to take bath again. So he went to the Ganga river again. He did Sachela Snanam and then he take a different route to his house. And he came back to his house. He did his Sandhya. He did his Homa. He did his Devata Pujana. And now he wanted to do Atiti Satkara. So he came in front of the house to see if there is any person who wants food. And because Dharma Devata wanted to test him, that Brahmana who was killing the cow was present in his house, was present in front of his house. And just before Apastamba says, hey, anybody wants food? This Brahmana says, hey, Rishi, I want food. I am very, very hungry. Now Apastamba doesn't know what to do because this person has committed a heinous crime. He has killed a cow. But this person wants to have food at my house. He himself has started asking, I cannot say no because it is my duty to feed others who are hungry, but this person is standing, this person has committed this huge crime, so I don't know what to do, Apastamba. But Apastamba said, hey, okay, please come inside, we will give you food. What Apastamba thought was, first we will feed this Brahmana. But because we have fed someone who has done a lot of papam, we can clean the house, we can dispose of all the food and then we can cook again and then eat. So that is a prayashchitam, that is allowed in Shastra. That is what Apastamba thought. And he said, hey Brahmana, please come inside. And then he did Pada Puja, etc. He started offering food. And this Brahmana said, hey Maharshi, I have heard a lot about you. My only goal in this life was to have food with you. Now you are feeding me and then you are going to eat later. I don't want that. I want you to sit besides me and have food. Hey Rishi, said this Brahmana. Apastamba now is in a complete fix. And that Brahmana also said, if you don't agree to that, I don't want your food. I am going to go out of your house hungry, said that Brahmana. Now Apastamba cannot compensate. He cannot make any compromise on his Atiti Satkara, right? So Apastamba said, okay, Brahmana, I will have food with you. So Apastamba sat besides the Brahmana. But in Dharma Shastra, it is said that it is very, very wrong to even eat food with, to even share food with those people who have committed such heinous crime. Apastamba now knows, he doesn't know what to do. So he thought of something. What he did, he took a glass of water and he basically drew a line between this Brahmana and the Rishi, between the Brahmana and himself. Imagine two people are sitting and there is a line of water in between them. And according to Shastra, if a water line is drawn, that acts as a barrier. So it will not amount to two people having food together. So they will be considered as different panktis. Pandi we say Tamil, right? If a line is drawn between two people, those two people will be considered as eating in different lines. Apastamba understood that Shastra and he drew a line out of water. You know what happened after that? That water became a huge pillar. It became a huge wall in between Brahmana and this Rishi. That is why Apastamba is called as Apastamba. Apa means water. Stamba means a pillar or a wall. Just because he was so steadfast in doing Manushya Yajna, just because he is so steadfast in doing Annadanam, the water has become like a pillar so that his Anushtanam is not compromised. And that is why this Rishi is called as Apastamba. So that much importance is given in Shastra for doing Annadanam. It does not matter who is the final person, who is the beneficiary. He might have committed the most hated crime, but if that person wants food as a part of Manushya Yajna, we have to give food, because this is not something that other people came with it. This is not an idea that humans made. This idea is expressed in Vedas. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the Upanishad says a lot of vratams. What does the vratam? Annam bahukurvita tadvratam. Annam bahukurvita. The duty of a householder is to make a lot of food. Annam na parichakshita. Annam na parichakshita tadvratam. Do not waste food. That is a vratam. Annam bahukurvita tadvratam. You have to make a lot of food. That is a vratam. Nakanchana vasatau pratyachakshita tadvratam. Tasmadyaya kayacha vidhaya bahvannam prapnuyat. Tasmadyaya kayacha vidhaya bahvannam prapnuyat. It does not matter how you collect food, but you have to collect a lot of raw materials for that food and you have to give the food to others. Why? Aradhyasma annamitya chakshate. etadvai mukhato annagum radham mukhatosma annagum radhyate etadvai madhyato annagum radham madhyatosma annagum radhyate etadva antato annagum radham antatosma annagum radhyate etadvai mukhatonnagum radham mukhatosma annagum radhyate. The one who gives food first, he will also receive food first. The one who gives food after some thinking, he will also receive food after some thinking. The one who gives food as last, he will also be last in receiving the food, says Taittiriya Upanishad. And we all have heard of this Rik from Taittiriya Upanishad. Ha u ha u ha u ahamannam 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 ahamannado hamannado hamannadah ahag shloka krid ahag shloka krid ahag shloka krid ahamasmi prathama jarutasya पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य नाभायि यो मा ददाति सयि देवमावाह यो मा ददाति सयि देवमावाह, says Taittiriya Upanishad. Normally, when we want to store something, we will not give that to others. If I want to store money, I have to keep money for myself. If I have to store, clothes, I have to keep that money for, I have to keep that cloth for myself, right? But this Upanishad says, if you want to keep annam, if you want to keep food in your storage, then you have to give food to others, says this Upanishad. So only when we give food to others, we will also receive food back. So that is the main point. So that much importance is given to Annadanam in our Shastra. And the next story, the golden mongoose, I will give it to you as a homework. It happens in Mahabharata. If you write, golden mongoose in Google, you will find what is the story that also exemplifies the importance of Annadana that Shastra has given. And Annadana is part of Manushya Yajna. We have to be remembering that Annadana is a part of Manushya Yajna. It is not complete Manushya Yajna. Manushya Yajna comprises a lot of faculties, a lot of procedures, a lot of disciplines, the first and foremost of which is Annadana. What are the other Manushya Yajna? What are the other procedures for Manushya Yajna? Manusmriti says, Ishtapurtam, sorry, this is Dalbhya Smriti. Dalbhya Smriti says, Ishtapurtam Dvijatinam Prathamam Dharma Sadhanam Ishtena Labhate Swargam Purtena Mokshameti Cha. There are two types of rituals. There are two types of duties a person has. One is called as Ishta, Ishti, and another is called as Purta. Ishtadharma, Purtadharma, says Shastra. What are Ishtadharma? Agnihotram, Tapassatyam, Vedanam Chaiva Palanam, Atithyam Vaishwadevancha, Ishtamityabhidiyate. Doing Agnihotram is an Ishtikarma. Doing Tapas is an Ishtikarma. Speaking Satyam is an Ishtikarma. Veda Samrakshanam, it is an Ishtikarma. Athityam, taking care of one's own relatives, sorry, one's guests, giving food to others is an Ishtikarma. Vaishwadevam, we will be seeing that later. All these fall under Ishti. Normally, when we say Ishti, we have heard this word, Putra Kameshti Yajnam. All those big yajnams are called as Ishti. Putra Kameshti, Nakshatreshti, etc., etc. All these big yajnam, which we have to spend a lot of money and lot of time. It takes lot of days to perform yajnam. Normally, we refer that to as Ishti, but here Shastra says giving food to others is an ishti. It is equivalent to doing an yajnam. Doing Vaishwadevam, it is an ishti. It is equivalent to doing Somayagam, etc., says Shastra. So ishti is one part of Manushya Yajna. There is also another part that is called as Purta Yajnam. Purta Yajnam is doing social service to others. And Shastra says, Dalbhya Smriti says, Vapi Kupa Tadagadi Devata Yatanani cha Annapradana Maramaha Purtimityabhidiyate. What are Purta Dharmas? What are those social services one should do towards the society? Vapi Kupa Tadakadi Devata Yatanani cha. Digging well, digging well, because when we dig well, it is going to, in olden days it gives water to a lot of people. Vapi Kupa Tadakadi, digging a pond, because all those animals can come and drink water from the pond. Now we ourselves see lot of wild animals are coming into the domestic areas because they don't have water in the wild. And for all those reasons, we have to dig a lot of well, we have to dig a lot of pond. Devatayatana, building temples. Annapradanam aramaha. Annapradanam, giving food for others. Atityam is a part of a ritual. Annapradanam is like doing annadanam, for one occasion or the other. We go to destitute people, we go to orphanages, we give annadanam, right? So all those things are annapradanam. Aramancha, giving rest to all those travelers, because in olden days people did not have bus, car, plane, etc., right? They will be walking. If somebody wants to go to Kasi from Tamil Nadu, they have to walk all the way through, and of course they have to take rest, and they will be going to these householders house, and then they will be sleeping on their thinnai, providing that facility. All those things are social service, all those things are helping the society, and that is called as purta dharma. So Ishta Purtam. Ishti doing Vaidhika, following a set of Vaidhika procedure and doing the karma. And Purta Dharma, all the other social services, a person has to do both. There is no choice. He has to do both, because Ishtena Labhate Swargam. Purtena mokshameti cha. If we follow Ishti, if we follow all the Ishta karmas, Ishti karmas, you will get Swargam. If you follow Purta Dharma, you will get Moksham itself, says Dalbhya Smriti. Ishtena labhate Swargam, Purtena Mokshameti cha. And Adi Shankaracharya also, in his Prashnottara Ratnamalika, asked this question, Kim Manujeshvishtatamam? What is very desirable for human being? And Acharya says, Swaparahita yodhyatam janma, living a life in order to provide to others, in order, living a life that is conducive not only for you but also for others. It is the most desirable thing in a human being, says Adi Shankaracharya. And all those things are Manushya Yajnam. Remember, Manushya Yajnam is not one day affair. It is what we have to do daily. And Paramacharya, in some other place in Dheivathin Kural, he says, see, people have spread this misinformation that Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma is all about rituals, and Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma does not care about doing social service. But this is a misinformation, says Paramacharya in Deivathin Kural, because Manushya Yajna is there. What more do you want other than Manushya Yajna? See, here Acharya also says, here we have to do all these things not as a show off. I give to charity, I give $100 to charity, but then I will spend $1,000 in advertising that I have given $100 to charity. This is not like that. Every person has to do for their own satisfaction, says Acharya in Dheivathin Kural. So let us all follow this Manushya Dharma. And one part of Manushya Dharma that Acharya says is Pidi Arisi Tittam. This was introduced in in 60s or 70s. I don't know the date, where there were people were finding lot of difficulties in order to find food. And what did Acharya say? All the women. So this is mainly pointed towards women in the household. He said, hey people, when you are cooking rice for your home, all you have to do is set aside one fistful rice, in a patram. And at the end of the day or the end of the month, a volunteer will come and collect all those rice from that patram, and then he will go. Maybe in a temple, the rice will be cooked. The rice will be, offered to Bhagavan, and this rice, the cooked rice will be given to all others, said Acharya in Deivathin Kural, and that is called as Pidi Arisi Tittam. Pidi means fistful, Arisi rice. Pidi Arisi Tittam, fistful rice scheme or rice fistful scheme, etc., whatever you can translate it as. So that is still prevalent in India. I know a lot of people who still does that in India. If you want to know more details, you can, contact me. I will give you their contact details. And our Matham is also doing something very, very similar, because now people who are in the US cannot give all those rice, right? So Acharya, Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swami, our Peryava has instituted a scheme called as $1 a day. All you have to do is set aside $1 for charity, and that will be $365, right, in a year. And if you give the $365, and that money will be used for Veda, Vidya, Vaidya, Vriddha, and Vadya. Five V's. Veda for Veda Pariparanam, Vidya in order to give education to people, Vaidya in order to give health care to people, Vadya, there is a Nadaswara Pathashala, for boys and girls, in order to teach them to play Nadaswara. And Vriddha, there are a lot of old age home that Shankara Matam is maintaining. This money that we contribute will go to those activities. So people who want more details can contact, this is the website, here is the contact information, can contact the relevant people to get more information, so that they can also participate in this important yajna called as Manushya Yajna. Next is Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta Yajna, apart from human being, whatever is remaining, animal, plant, inanimate objects, providing for all those people, providing for all those entities, is called as Bhuta Yajna. And Vaishwadevam is the first and foremost of Bhuta Yajna. Just like Annadanam is the first and foremost of Manushya Yajna. But Manushya Yajna encompasses many other things as well, apart from Annadanam. In the same way, Vaishwadevam is the first and foremost thing for Bhuta Yajna. But in general, Bhuta Yajna is feeding all those animals, giving care, do not hurt any animal, giving food to all those animals. So that is called as Bhuta Yajna. Acharya especially mentions Vaishwadevam in Deivathin Kural, so that we will see this and then we will move on. So what is Vaishwadevam? In everybody's house, Manusmriti says there are 5 butcheries. Butcheries means, a killing place, right? 5 butcheries in everybody's house, says Manusmriti. Panchasuna, Suna means butchery. Panchasuna grahastasya chulli peshan yupaskaraha kandi chodakumbhascha badhyate yastu vahayan, says Manusmriti. What are those 5 butcheries? They are knife and grinder, mixie, ammi, varal, etc., stove, water pot, and broom. Why? Because with knife we are chopping off vegetables, right? And knife is very sharp. Knowingly or unknowingly, it is also going to hurt other people. Grinder, mixie, in those days it is called as ammi, varal, etc. And in those days, small insects will be present in that ammi. And when we want to try to clean them, all those insects will be dead, right? So that, and stove is agni, because it has got fire. It also causes harm to other animals. And water pot, if you keep water pot for a long time, you will get bacterial growth in water pot, and if we clean it, all those bacteria will die. And our water pot is also heavy. It so happens that small insects will get hurt, when we keep the water pot. So water pot is a butchery. And broom, we all know, even if there is a small insect, we will be killing that insect. If we have a cockroach, we will kill that cockroach with a broom. So all those things are called as butcheries according to Shastra. And in order for an atonement from these sins, because even though these are small insects and small objects, even though we are not killing them, on purpose, but what is the reason? But in reality is, things are getting killed in our house, and we cannot do anything about it. But what we can do is do this karma called as Vaishwadevam. And when we do this karma, this will offer bali. So what we do is, people who do Vaishwadevam, they will be cooking food, and then they will be offering a homam, offering that food in a homam. And that bali will go towards all those creatures which have been inadvertently killed in our house. So that is called as Vaishwadevam. Look at how broad minded the ancestors were. Look at how broad minded the rishis are. So this process is called as Vaishwadevam. But Bhuta Yajna doesn't end there. The food that we give to crows, kaka ki sadam வைக்கிறது, the kolam, that we put outside with the raw rice flour, with the raw rice flour, that is part of Bhuta Yajna as well. When we water the plants, that is part of a Bhuta Yajna. So whatever we do to all the animals, plants, inanimate things, in order for their sustenance, is called as Bhuta Yajnam. And Acharya also says, what is the attitude for Manushya Yajnam and Bhuta Yajnam? We can see Manushya Yajnam and Bhuta Yajnam with 2 point of views. One, what I have said first, they have contributed for our living, and we have to contribute for their well-being. That is the first attitude. And another interesting attitude that Mahaperiyava says in Dheivathin Kural, that is, we have to look upon all the entities, all the Manushyas, all the Bhutams, as Bhagavat Swarupam, as a form of Bhagavan himself. Purusha yevedagum sarvam yadbhutam yachabhavyam, says Purusha Sukta. Purusha eva idagum sarvam. Sahasra sirsha purushaha sahasrakshas sahasrapat sabhumim vishwato vritva atyadishtad dashangulam purusha evedagam sarvam yadbhutam yachabhavyam udamritatvaseshanaha yadannena tirohati, says Purusha Suktam. Whatever we see around us, it is all a manifestation of Bhagavan. This is another important difference. This is another important point in Sanatana Dharma. In Sanatana Dharma, each and every entity is seen upon as Bhagavan himself. So if we provide for all those beings, what does that mean? We are providing for Bhagavan himself. If we feed them, this is like doing Nevedyam to Bhagavan. If we care for a cat, that is like providing care for Bhagavan himself. We have to look upon Manushya Yajna and Bhuta Yajna as our duty for Bhagavan, because everything that is surrounding us is Bhagavan himself. Bhagavan, and none other than Bhagavan. Even Sri Rudram, Namo Hiranyabhave se Nanye Dishan Chapataye Namo Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyah Pashunam Pataye Namo Namah Saspinjar. Vrikshebhyaha, every tree is a form of a Rudra, says Sri Rudram. Harikeshebhyaha, Saspinjara, even a blade of grass, it is a form of Rudram. Shwabhya Shwapadibhyascha Vo Namaha, even dogs that are surrounding us, it is form of a Rudra. It is Rudra's form only. Even the person who eats the dog, That is also, he is also a form of Bhagavan, says Sri Rudram. So that is called as Vishwarupa Darshanam, and we all have to have in our mind, we all to have that kind of attitude in our mind while doing Bhuta Yajnam, while doing Manushya Yajnam. In Tamil, in Tevaram Tiruvasagam, there is a there is a padigam called as Nindra Tiruthandagam. It is said to be very equivalent to Sri Rudram. Sri Rudram is present in Vedas and Sanskritam. In Tamil, Nindra Tiruthandagam is supposed to be equivalent of Sri Rudram. Why? Because here, upper says everything is Bhagavan. Mannagi, Vinnagi, Malayumagi, Vairavumai, Manikan, Taneyagi, Kannagi, Kannukor, Maniyumagi, Kalayagi, Kalayyanan, Taneyagi, Pennagi, பெண்ணுக்கோர் ஆணுமாகி பிரளயத்துக்கப்பாலோர் அண்டமாகி எண்ணாகி எண்ணுக்கோர் எழுத்தாகி எழுஞ்சுடராயம் மடிகள் நின்றவாறே கல்லாகி களிராகி காணுமாகி காவிரியாய் காலாராய் கழியுமாகி புல்லாகி புதலாகி பூடுமாகி புறமாகி புறமூன்றும் கொடுத்தானாகி சொல்லாகி சொல்லுக்கோர் பொருளுமாகி சுலாவாகி சுலாவுக்கோர் சுழலாகி நெல்லாகி நிலனாகி நீருமாகி நெடுஞ்சுடராய் நிமிர்ந்தடிகள் நின்றவாறே. Bhagavan Parameshwara is present in the stone. Kallagi, he is present in an elephant. Kalirumahi, Kaviriyai, he is Kaveri river. Pullagi, he is the blade of grass. He is Nellagi, he is even the Nell. Nell means rice grains. Everything is Parameshwara only, says upper. He gets inspired from Sri Rudram in Yajurvedam. That is why Sri Rudram and Purusha Suttam are supposed to be very, very important and to be chanted daily, because it gives that attitude for us. It gives that attitude that everything surrounding us is Bhagavan only. When we serve people, we are serving Bhagavan. So there ends Manushya Yajna and Bhuta Yajna. With this, we will finish today's session. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.